Attachment makes you weak. Hi, I'm Stevie Ray, an improv professional for over 40 years and a martial artist for nearly 50, and I use the intersection of those two disciplines to help people own their space. Buddhists believe that attachment was the cause of all suffering. In Tibet, there's a phrase, do shag, which means sticky craving. And that's the idea that in order to be happy, I must have this. And we get attached to this. Attachments come in many forms. Ideas. We get attached to an idea and we simply can't let it go. Think of brainstorming sessions or problem-solving meetings where somebody presents an idea and then they just can't let it go, even though the idea is proven to be ineffective or not the best options. Attachments in business are the causes of some of the greatest failures because even though we know we're going down the wrong road, we have to keep going. Psychologists call that a inertial bias. You've got cognitive bias, which is believing something even though there's evidence to the contrary. Inertial bias is once I start down a certain path, I gotta keep going. That is a form of attachment. Possessions. We know a lot of possessions that we don't need. We're attached to them. I look around my house once a year and say, if I haven't used that thing in at least a few years, why do I still have it? A lot of times it's simply because I have it, so I still want it. Letting things go can kind of free up a little space. Self-image is an attachment. We often do things not because it's something we really want to do, but because we want other people to see us do it. Power. We get attached to feeling like we have control over something, so we don't want to let go. Now, if you think the way to keep power is by exerting more of it, you've probably never had a child. I am a registered reserve teacher for school districts in my area, and I'm registered for kindergarten through 12th grade. You really want to test the idea of power? Teach a middle school class. You will be disabused of that notion very quickly. Outcomes. We get attached to a certain outcome. It has to end up a certain way. That's kind of what I was referring to before when I said inertial bias. We have to be willing to accept the fact that outcomes are going to be different than what we planned. The brain is a predictive organism. It doesn't like to go into any situation as a blank slate. The brain tries to predict the outcome of any situation we are about to embark upon. And predicting the outcome means that that's what we expect to happen, so that's what's got to happen. Well, that can be kind of a dangerous thing because outcomes have their own way of presenting themselves. If we release ourselves from how things might turn out, we are better able to handle how they actually turn out. People. We get attached to people whether they're good for us or not. In fact, some people stay at the same job simply because they don't know who might be at a job that is better for them. So they are attached to the people they're familiar with, even though the circumstances aren't good for them. I was at a conference of professional speakers and corporate trainers like myself, and a very seasoned professional said, I use the hit by a bus philosophy. If I left this speaking engagement or workshop and got hit by a bus, who would actually care? Now, the people at the workshop might say, oh, that's sad. He seemed like such a nice guy. But are they going to really miss you the next day? Probably not. I heard another person put it this way. If you are only part of a chapter in someone's book of life, maybe you shouldn't act as if you're the entire volume. Only put as much effort in as the chapter needs. That's fair to them and fair to you. In improv, we use a different phrase related to attachment, which is, don't get married to your material. I remember running stand-up comedy open stages in the old days, and an open stage is where new comedians come to train and learn the craft, and veteran comedians come to practice new material. If you've never been to an open stage stand-up comedy night, search out your local comedy club and go. It's fascinating to see where the newcomers are coming from. And you see just how hard the job is, because you're getting to see material in the workshop phase. Well, there was one comedian that I talked to who every single week would come and deliver the same jokes, the same bits, as we call them in the comedy world, and some of them would never worked. Yet she still kept delivering the same joke. One night I asked her, "Why do you keep delivering the same joke that never seems to work?" And she said, "I really like that joke." I said, "Well, then you should go home and perform in front of a mirror because you're performing for yourself instead of the audience. You are attached to your idea. You're married to your material. If you detach yourself, then you own your space. You own your ideas. You own your surroundings. You own the people around you instead of them owning you. Detachment can sometimes be the best way to own your space."